Uh, Vikram Singh Saab, I welcome you to this first lecture, which is on CrPC and police. Now, we would start by asking you what is the process of filing a complaint and registration of an FIR at a police station?
That is by far the most difficult question. And not only I, perhaps it is something that continues to be imponderable. We have Lalita Kumari versus State of Uttar Pradesh being debated, and also a very significant path-breaking judgment being given by a constitution bench of the Supreme Court. I take you to section 154 of the Criminal Procedure Code, where the FIR begins. When a complainant goes to a police station and the complaint discloses the commission of a cognizable offence, the station house officer shall register. It is not will, sir. It is shall. There is no element of discretion with the station house officer. If there is a reluctance on the part of the SHO, the complainant may go to the superintendent of police, and superintendent of police, if he is satisfied that there is a cognizable offence, he may order the registration of the case. His satisfaction, the word satisfaction is a very meaningful word. This luxury was not accorded to the station house officer. It was given to the superintendent of police, whether by inquiry. And in Lalita Kumari case, a small window of inquiry has been accorded. And the four windows and the four reasons are for a preliminary inquiry to be conducted within 7 days. And they are matrimonial disputes, medical negligence, a civil case, etc. But there's also a provision. If I go to a police station and try to lodge a false FIR, it will be expunged, and also a case under 182 IPC lodging a false complaint can be lodged against me for wasting the time of the police and the government officials. Two, a very important aspect has come out. It was there earlier also, zero FIR. I go to police station, my pocket was picked when I started from home, and I go to the police station here. No, sir, the jurisdiction is not here. You please go to no. The concept of zero FIR, especially in cases pertaining to sexual offenses, an FIR has to be lodged immediately. Jurisdiction will come later. This is in the case of cognizable offenses. In case of non-cognizable offenses, it is section 155. Then there is a window of 156.3 of the CrPC that again my cases are not registered. I go to the concerned magistrate, lodge a complaint and request the magistrate to lodge my FIR. The magistrate, of satisfying himself after an inquiry, will get the case registered and due process of law shall follow. So there are three windows which I have placed before you, but it is easier said than done. In spite of the intervention of the Honorable Supreme Court, you are a person who is well versed in law, you'd realize that lodging an FIR is no joke.
Quite right. And with that, we move to the CrPC provisions relating to investigation process. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Oh, yes, of course, sir. Let us begin from section 160 of the CrPC, sir, where there is a requirement that the IO, investigating officer, can summon those who are interested and those who know what the basic facts of the cases are. The first case diary entry is Mauka Moina. Our word continues to be in Urdu, written in Hindi, and of course in various states the different languages. Mauka Moina is inspection of the scene of crime. Naksha Nazari, site plan. Bayan Wadi, statement of the complainant. Bayan Chashmadid Gawah, statement of the eyewitnesses. Bayan Samai Shahadat, statement of the ear witnesses, those who have heard something. And also Nakal Chik, Nakal Rapat. Nakal Chik is the gist of the FIR, and Nakal Rapat is the gist of the GD entry that has been made. Now he processes forward 160 CrPC. But during the case of summoning, he has to satisfy himself, number one, that when he's summoning women, he should take pains to ensure that women, men below 15 and above 65, those who are mentally and physically challenged, will have to be inquired and addressed at their own residence. 161 of the CrPC elaborates that the statement have to be recorded at, in the language, but they are not to be signed as is mentioned in the 162. 162 says that they are not to be signed. And this is something knowledge for the public, that during the course of investigation, if there is a statement that is recorded, you're not supposed to sign it. Then 162 says no inducement, threat, or any such thing that is illegal should be resorted to by the investigating officer. Then we come to the most important aspect of investigations, 164 of the CrPC. That is a statement made before a magistrate. In this case, also a videography can be made, and also the statement made before a magistrate has tremendous evidentiary value. As also in the cases of dying declarations, these are important things, and investigation in itself is an art and a science both.
Fine. Now, investigation may, in very many cases, result into arrest, and there are provisions relating to preventive detention as well. Now, what are the powers contained, indicated, inserted in the CrPC with regard to powers of a police officer in this regard?
Their powers of arrest and powers vest with the police. I take you back to section 41 of the Criminal Procedure Code, sir. They were amended in the year 2009, and also there are multiple cases where handcuffing, DK Basu case, and also have been prescribed what the IO can do and what the IO can do. It is like tightrope walking. And my advice to IOs who are listening to the show, do not take liberties with the system. Those days are over. हंगामाए गिरफ्तारी में मुनासिब चोट पहुंचा के गिरफ्तार किया गया. These words have stuck with the police DNA and the subculture for the last 150 years. हंगामाए गिरफ्तारी में मुनासिब चोट. I classify all offences into two categories, cognizable and non-cognizable. Within cognizable, bailable and non-bailable. And within those offences, there are those that have a punishment of more than 7 years, and there are those that have less than 7 years. Under these circumstances, the CrPC now mandates, after the 2009 revision, that the IO shall issue a notice in case when the punishment is less. Arrest does not happen automatically. But I'll give you the subculture, sir. Yes. When a person is taken to the police station, it is bailable. The officer has no right to arrest him. Zamanat lene se qasir hai. He is reluctant to take bail. Therefore, I have no option but to send him. This is just for your kind consideration. Now I go to section 41. He issues a notice that are issued, request the person to come, and even then, if there is a presence of the summoned person, then 99% that person should not and need not be arrested. But if still the IO chooses to pursue the matter of arrest, he can write and reduce his observations in writing that 1, he can abscond, 2, he can tamper with the investigation, 3, he can go underground and vitiate the investigation. Under these circumstances, again, he has to reduce in writing, produce his statement before the magistrate concerned, take his permission, and then arrest. Not like a Scud missile that he just goes to and barges into somebody's place and then arrest him. That would be an illegal arrest.
Mere observation or impression that the person may abscond would not afford him an opportunity to take him into custody.
Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar Supreme Court. The Honorable Court shall apply its mind and should not take the version of the investigating officer or the police as the gospel truth. The Honorable Court has to see the demeanor of the accused, the demeanor of the IO, and there should not be a standard scripted and cyclo-styled that A, Mohan Singh is likely to abscond, and I'm satisfied that if he's not arrested, it will vitiate the investigation. The courts have given a very onerous duty, sir.
And this is very significant, as you have indicated, that not only the demeanor of the accused is to be observed, the demeanor of the investigation officer is also as significant and notable, that should be taken into consideration. Now, the next question that we move to is the implications of police custody and power of a police officer at this stage. What happens when a person is in police custody?
There are onerous responsibilities, and things have changed drastically after the CrPC amendments, as also the 13th Criminal Law Amendment Act after the Verma Commission recommendations. The responsibilities of the investigating officers are: first, during the course of arrest, he has to prepare an arrest memo. The arrest memo should incorporate the signature of the accused or the other person he has arrested, a signature of a relation, or the signature of a person his relation is not available, then somebody who is a neighbor or who is privy to the whole process of arrest, a medical examination of the arrested person if he so desires, to prevent something.
If he so desires.
If he so desires, just to prevent what? हंगामाए गिरफ्तारी में मुनासिब चोट पहुंचा के गिरफ्तार किया गया. Then he has access to a lawyer of his choice if he so desires. Then the arrested person, when he is lodged in the jail, the GD entry, if he is in the police lockup, then he has the GD entry of Parivartan Pehara, change of guards, will have to be done by the inspector or the SO in charge himself. And the most important point, sir, now all the state capital districts and the state capital will have a notice board outside the control rooms showing who was arrested, by whom, and at what point of time. Section 57 of the Criminal Procedure Code says that basic 24 hours and justifiable journey time. That if somebody has to be taken from here to the court, the journey time was 18 hours. This is unconvincing. Within 24 hours, the arrested person has to be produced before the magistrate.
The journey time is from what to what?
Police station, the point of arrest to the magistrate.
That would reckon as the...
Yes, sir.
Yes. And now I think this should bring us to the end of part one, and we would then move to subsequent provisions in part two. Thank you. कितना हुआ? 12 minutes. 12 minutes.